problem. This is the cheapest Aston Martin V8 Vantage in the entire country. And it was cheap for a reason. A few weeks ago, I got a random DM from a stranger telling me that he had a supercar that had been crashed, then abandoned at his body shop for 15 years and wanted me to buy it. And even though it could barely move under its own power,
does it naturally feel like there's some slippage?
I bought it immediately. And now I'm trying to build it into the coolest Aston Martin on the entire internet for less than it would cost to buy one used. In the last video, we got all the body panels back on the car, and it's finally starting to look like a supercar again. But honestly, it's a little underwhelming. Today, I'm gonna fix that by wrapping it in an insane new color that I'm excited about. The only problem? I have no idea how to wrap a car. Never done it. But that hasn't stopped me before. So today I'm gonna try something new and attempt to transform this abandoned supercar. In order to do this correctly, well, not really correctly because I have no idea, we're going to go panel by panel, just because that's probably simplest for us and we get to get right into it. And we're gonna start with the hood because I think it is probably the easiest panel.
It's nice and big and flat.
It's relatively flat, looks easy to work with my limited knowledge. But first off, I know we gotta take these bad boys out. Now I really have no idea what I'm doing, but I do know that when you're wrapping a car, it's always best to remove basically everything you can from the panel. So before I start wrapping, I'm taking the hood vents off to make it as easy as possible to wrap the hood. Now that we have those off, we're just gonna give it a wipe down and prep the panel. This one is already pretty clean because this is one that we cleaned in our past video. But we're gonna use a little mixture of isopropyl alcohol and water. And then wipe her down.
This basically just makes sure that there's no waxes or anything on the surface and preps it for proper adhesion to the vinyl.
Says the one who has never done this in his life.
I've never done it either. I watched the guys at Q do the Porsche, which came out great.
Yeah, I have seen plenty of videos and I think I can do it based on that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm delusional, but we're about to find out if that's true. Now, I get to reveal our color early on because, you know, that's cool. Hold on.
But we're gonna wrap it, so it'd be hard to not show you guys the color.
Yeah, so Vivid Vinyl really hooked us up. They sent not only a heat gun, several knives to cut the vinyl with.
And that's including the best damn knife ever made.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that performs. And squeegees that have interchangeable squeegee sections. I don't know what that's called technically, but that's what I'm gonna call it, squeegee tips.
Yeah.
And of course, that wouldn't be complete without this giant roll of vinyl. And now I'm gonna, I guess, unwrap it.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa,
Oh.
It's not green.
Yeah. It's called China Blue. And it is quite the color.
It's a pretty well-known Mercedes color, I believe is where it's from. It is beautiful, and yes, it isn't green. We hear you guys. We've seen a lot of comments of people telling us to make it green.
We did think of how
Yeah,
green.
and we're not saying it'll never be green, but right now, it's gonna be China Blue because we want to do something a little bit different.
I think it's gonna look sick. This is a really cool color. I think it's gonna look even better on the car. So let's start attempting to put it on the car. Thankfully, Vivid gave us the biggest roll they make, so we can be pretty generous when we're cutting out panels. We really don't know what we're doing, but from some YouTube research, I learned that it's best to stretch the panel out and start laying it down from the middle, working your way to the edges. We're quickly finding out though that this is much easier said than done. Yeah, okay, so now we're just gonna pull this down.
Yep.
Pull it from underneath.
We can go a bit at a time.
Whoa, careful.
We can like leave it as here. Ready? Fill it up, and now.
Okay.
All right, now stretch. Stretch your side really hard, and like pull down.
Yeah, that's not gonna work, but yeah. Always be wrapping. A lot of bubbles in this section. No matter how slowly and carefully we're going, little bubbles and marks keep appearing in the film. But although it isn't coming out perfect, we're making progress getting the entire hood wrapped. And now we can trim along the edge and cut out and reinstall the vents. The first panel we've ever wrapped in our entire lives, and I will tell you, It's really hard. I'm not quite sure if we're gonna be able to do the whole car. I genuinely am not sure for the first time in a very long time. It's certainly not perfect.
Yeah, there's some little stuff. I mean, there's a lot of rock chips down here, which is creating some issues for
That's
us.
crazy. Those rock chips are insane. Those are rock chips.
Well, they're a little bit of both.
It's not by any means perfect. In the sun, it will for sure look bad.
But
what can you do? It's our first time ever doing this. But yeah, that's that done.
the color is
Done.
awesome.
The color is fantastic. And to be honest, this Vivid is actually really good. It's
Yeah.
relatively easy to work with. It's made, well, we have made some mistakes. We would have made a lot more if it weren't for the wrap being so compliant. So that's good. However, we may want to rewrap this panel.
Yeah, I mean, this was a first trial, so maybe at the end we'll rewrap this, but we'll see how
We'll see how much
long
extra we
everything
have
takes. Yeah.
and how bad this is. But I don't know if we can do it because this is a very flat panel and we have a lot of other panels that are not so flat and not so forgiving. I'm scared. We have to be a bit more careful now because we can't keep wasting vinyl. If we run out, it could set back our build by weeks, and we can't afford that. The door is going down a bit easier than the hood, and that's because we're using the heat gun more strategically. On a curved panel, it's crucial to heat up the vinyl, allowing it to stretch out and lay down smoothly. The heat can cause problems though. If you overheat the vinyl, it can get too soft and tear through super easily.
Point is that it's thumbnail. Oh.
Well,
Jackson did a oopsie.
I made a mistake and overheated it. It's so finicky from like when it's...
We're so close to having this door done too, but you know what that means?
Wait.
No, that's what that means.
Oh, you don't want to do a piece over it? Okay. Let's run out of wrap. Well, that's demotivating.
Yes, it is.
Oh wait, it's black again.
Back to black. Wrapping is hard.
We're gonna stop for today. I'm exhausted. We've only gotten one panel done, but we also started halfway through the day. So...
And we learned.
We're learning. This is a little demoralizing ripping through the thing, but it is what it is. We're not experts. We don't claim to be experts, so we will figure it out. We will persevere, but there might be some...
Let's watch some YouTube videos about wrap tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch some. We may need to just fully restart. I don't know how much wrap we have though.
Well, I think we leave the hood until the end, until we know we have extra wrap.
Because it is on.
Yeah.
It's really bad around the vents though, like really, really bad.
We'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Some more wrapping. Let's see how it goes.
All right, day 2. Day 2. We have done a lot of research and calling a lot of experts to try to learn how to wrap the car. Because I think day 1 might have been a complete waste of time. We're gonna definitely need to redo the hood. It's not good.
Yeah, we got
We did a lot wrong.
YouTube magic's not gonna hide all these bubbles and terribleness that we made. Yeah, we're not good at wrapping yet.
So that was a waste of several hours, which is always fun. But the good news is we have today to fix our mistakes. So we still have a lot of wrap. Vivid sent us a ton of extra because they probably knew we were gonna mess some stuff up. And we can get into it. By the way, this merch, Will's wearing some. Check that out.
Look at this.
Check that merch out. That's our OG merch. And that is going to be leaving our store forever in 3 weeks. Because we're restructuring our merch. It's gonna be very cool. You should be excited about it. But that means this merch is never ever coming back. And if you wanna be an OG fan of the channel, well, you should pick some up.
It's cool too.
It's cool.
Like nice embroidered, comfy shirts. We see you wearing this, we'll be like, yo, that guy's mad
That's
cool.
an OG fan, bro.
Oh, that's
But
my dog.
This is going away. So if you want some, go pick it up. It won't last for very long. And you should be excited about the new merch as well. So let's get into wrapping. I'm ready to go.
What is bro doing?
Bro, I'm ready to go. This is my wrapping stance.
All right, let's wrap.
Let's get to it. Armed with a good night's sleep and some new knowledge, we're getting started on the same door we messed up yesterday. But hopefully we can do it better this time. Another trick we learned is to take the protective film off first, which seems counterintuitive, and you can scratch the film this way. But it allows it to stretch a bit more, and if you put some lubricant on the film when you're squeegeeing, you'll reduce the stretching. You can also polish some films. So. Ah, shiny.
Incredibly glossy.
With the protective film off, the vinyl is much easier to lay down, and the bubbles are coming out better than on the hood as well. We're taking our time and being more careful with the heat, and it's definitely paying off. The door is taking way less time, and actually is starting to look pretty decent.
Alrighty, Jackson.
Well, after, honestly, I won't lie to you, our research and development last night has resulted in something quite good. We did make a few small mistakes that we did try to fix, but how does it look to you guys?
Yeah, let me know what you think. We're real rapists now.
This is gonna be black. Oh, sorry, this won't be black.
Yeah,
forever.
we're gonna cover that up.
Cover that.
There's the edges aren't perfect, but
that'll hide it a little bit. I think
we got a piece of trim to go here to cover up my error there. But
for a first panel that we've properly done, I think it's actually perfect. We tucked the edges really well. Up here is not perfect. I wish the trim wasn't here because we could just pop the trim over it. It would be a little better. But for what we're working with, this is good. And the edges, the seams, under look at that. That's pretty good.
Hey man, the car's blue. Almost.
I'll take it. Let's do the other door.
Yeah, let's do it.
The doors seem to be the easiest panel to wrap, so we're tackling the passenger side, and honestly, it's going really well. The driver door came out pretty nice, aside from some issues with trimming along the edges, so I'm taking a bit of extra precaution and being as precise as possible, especially because I could easily damage the car with a knife this sharp.
For a first timer, I feel like I'm doing okay.
Gotta tuck and sit down a little bit, but we're making progress now.
Okay, well that's a keyhole. Not perfect.
But it's key.
But it's
major key alert.
It's not terrible. You would never know.
Yeah. Don't judge us.
With the doors done, we're tackling one more panel. We have a special plan for what to do with the trunk. More on that later. So for now, we're just wrapping the upper section. This is the last of the easy panels though. Everything else is way more intricate and complicated, and to be honest, I'm getting a little nervous. Okay, top of the trunk is complete, as you can see. We still have a lot of work to do on the car. We were able to get both doors, top of the trunk, but I think we're gonna call it a day for today. This is a slow process. We still have a few more days to get this done. We'll see if we can get it done in time. We now, of course, also have the hood that we need to redo, but it is what it is. So, see you tomorrow. Hi. We've never done this before. And the evidence of that is showing itself.
The proof is in the pudding.
There's a bubble here.
And that's the pudding.
And that's pudding right there in this hypothetical scenario. And I think we can fix that. This is hard. Wrapping is hard. And this is something that we've never done before. But I still think we can do it.
I mean, we have an
upward battle. We're saving the hardest panels for last.
We've had 2 full days of wrapping. We've done this door with a bubble, the hood, which needs to be redone, this trunk, which is by no means perfect, but it looks all right. We still have to finish it, and this door, which also has the same bubble.
Well, no, it's much smaller on this side. So, I mean, that's a win. Yeah, in 2 days of many hours of wrapping, we haven't gotten a lot done. But today, we're gonna change that. And we're gonna wrap a huge panel.
Except for we only have like an hour to do it today, because Jackson's gotta go do something.
Yeah, my mom needs my help. Because we only have a few hours, we are getting right into wrapping the quarter panel. We have to be extra careful with this because we're using such a big piece of vinyl that we really can't afford to ruin it. Because the panel is so curved, we have to use a lot of heat and stretch it pretty aggressively. This means that we're at risk of tearing a hole in it just like the door. Luckily, it seems like it's going pretty well. And now, all we have to do is cut along all the seams and tuck the edges, and the quarter panel is almost done. Panel. Done, I think. I mean, I still need to do the gas cap, but me and Will have somehow finessed it. It's not perfect, but we're really increasing our ability. Now, we made it easier for ourselves, obviously, by kind of cutting it short here instead of doing all the way down this, because that would be really hard. There will be a seam here, but at the end of the day, for some beginner guys, this is pretty good. So, I mean, it's working. This panel, as you can see, is really hard because it curves down like this.
To be honest, we got that part, like, well nice.
Yeah, it really looks good. And we sort of, we're sort of getting good at it. I'm not gonna lie. Now, we are leaving the worst panels for last.
Which is that one.
That one I'm actually less concerned with, even more than the front bumper and the rear bumper.
Okay, that's fair.
The rear bumper is rough. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that, but we're saving that as the last step. So you'll have to keep watching to see if we can actually figure it out. But so far, it's working.
Before you have to go today, should we do that and that?
Yeah.
Try to get the
we
side
have
done?
enough time to try to get this like area done
Yeah.
and see how the side looks. But this color is gorgeous.
It is a really nice color.
Can't move the car to see it in the light, but in here it looks fantastic, and I'm super excited to see it outside.
Shout out Vivid for making some nice colors.
Yeah, this is fresh.
All right, let's do it.
The last piece we have to do today is the A-pillar, and it's actually super straightforward. With pieces like this, we can stretch the film across it in a process called glassing, which basically means just getting all of the wrinkles out before you even touch the paint with the film. With that done, I'm trimming the edges and tucking everything, and it's actually going pretty well. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see right there.
Together, man.
That is almost blue.
I'm in a nice chair right now. You know me.
I have bad news. Jerry may not be, he may have vacated. I hope.
He may not be
Because
with
his
us anymore.
His nest is completely in tatters. All over the Aston Martin.
And the floor. I vacuumed this yesterday. There's no more Jerry nest up there.
Bro, can
Which
we
is-
get an L in the chat from our boy Jerry?
He didn't deserve it, man.
F in the chat.
He honestly, man, he was a good guy. He had a good head on his shoulders, but something happened to him. It's definitely not. We didn't do it because he was getting our car dirty. That didn't happen.
No. Jerry, I wouldn't have laid a hand on Jerry.
Natural causes or something, bro. All right, well, we gotta clean up the mess
Well,
of
yeah.
Jerry,
And we got a lot of work to do.
finish wrapping the car. Yeah,
We got to get over it real
Yeah.
quick.
All right, I'm good now. All right, let's clean up Jerry.
Me and Will are now going to take care of the rest of the easy panels, starting with the rear quarter panel, which is going surprisingly well because we learned from our mistakes on the first one. With all that trimmed and ready to go, we can take care of wrapping the A-pillar, which is the pillar next to the windshield. And then we're moving on to the side skirts. Aside from being really low to the ground, the side skirts aren't super difficult to wrap, so we're making quick work of them. Now though, we have to start taking care of the hard stuff. Luckily, I have a secret weapon. We brought in reinforcements. This is Brad. He's gonna help us. He has much more experience than we do with this. With his help, we're gonna attempt the fender that we've been avoiding. So that is the mission. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
That's confidence.
One piece, or do we leave a seam right here?
No seam.
No seam.
No
This
seam.
guy's-
We leave this
He's
unwrapped.
confident.
Yeah, that we'll leave unwrapped for sure.
We leave this unwrapped and then we do an inlay.
Inside. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we cut it right here and then we do an inlay in there with, I think this and then that will be one piece and then
Yeah.
one piece down here.
This is the confidence we were looking for.
But we're gonna go with the glass method to stretch the vinyl, and then Will will hit it with the squeegee while Jackson and I are pulling, and Will will also heat the middle of the wrap.
I don't think he's good enough
go.
to do that. All right, we know the plan. Battle stations. With Brad's help, we're making quick progress with the first fender. Wrapping is definitely something that requires experience to do properly. And with Brad's tips and tricks, we are already learning so much. And to be honest, it's turning out a little bit easier than I expected. We do still have a few issues though. Will left, but me and Brad have been making some work on this fender. This is the hardest panel yet by far. We didn't take this light out. In an ideal world, we would. But I think we'll be able to cut around it. It won't be perfect. And then this, we're gonna have to figure out. This is still a challenge, but I think we're gonna inlay a piece of vinyl in there is what Brad said. He's smarter than me. And then we should be good, I hope.
It's not ideal, but we're worried if we stretch all this vinyl over there, when the sun hits it, it'll bubble back. So we'd almost rather have a little seam in a spot that you don't really see than to have the vinyl peel back.
The scary thing is if we do mess it up, all the work we did is done and we have to redo it all. So that's terrifying. But I think it's always good with wrap, as you know, Brad is teaching me, to leave a little extra room. So if I cut around the edge of this, we should hopefully have a little more than we need, and we can just tuck it. So, yeah, you gotta just go for it at some point. I don't have surgical hands; they're a little shaky. But let's see. This is scary.
Nice.
That's good.
Look at that. So far, this is how our work's been looking, which we believe to be an improvement.
I would say compared to the other panels, this is the best panel so far.
By far the hardest.
Also the hardest panel.
The hardest part of this panel itself is doing here, just because we kept getting vertical fingers and the material needed to go that way. So yeah, we're hoping it all stays down.
We were running out of time today, so we trimmed as much as we could, and me and Will are going to come back tomorrow and try to use our new skills to fix some of the mistakes we made early on. As I said, we do need to redo the hood, and one part of that is having to take the wrap off, which is, again, doesn't feel very good. Oh, and it's also very sticky. It's, you know, we worked so hard to do this, but sometimes...
Yeah, this took way too long for it to feel good about undoing, but it also, well, it kind of looks horrible everywhere.
It's not good.
Yeah, we didn't do a great job.
We can do a better job. We've learned.
Thanks to our friend Brad for helping learning, because that was super useful.
And he will be back actually soon to help us with the rest of the car. We're not finished with the fender yet. That's where we left off yesterday.
But we're not good enough to do the fender alone. Oh my days!
Woo! I will say that is kind of fun. With the old film off, we can start redoing the hood. Compared to the first time we did it, the hood is coming out 10 times better, and I'm really starting to feel like I'm getting the hang of wrapping. While I finish up the hood though, Will has to take care of something crucial before we do any more wrapping.
I have to deal with what you guys saw in the last video, which is this. Our really messed up rear bumper that we're gonna try to wrap over. And that's a problem because when you wrap over something, you see it. It doesn't just hide things. And I mean, you can hear that noise. This paint is full of overspray and scratches and all the bad stuff that you really don't want to see when you're working on a car, especially when you're dealing with paint work. So my first step for this is just gonna be to take a clay pad to it and get really aggressive and see if everything comes out. I don't know if that's gonna work, but it's the only option we really have because we don't want to sand all the paint off the bumper because, well, I don't think the wrap would stick to that and that would also suck. So I'm gonna get started on trying to get the overspray and everything off of this, and I have to grab a few things to do that. All right, I'm starting this in the most simple way I know, which is with a nice clay pad. These are the best. I like them way more than a clay bar because they're way easier to use. And just a little bit of a Stoner Car Care detail spray because you wanna make sure it's still pretty slick, and I just like to really zhuzh it on there. Make sure the clay is wet as well. Now this isn't the easiest way to do it, but because we're in a garage, I don't wanna like start power washing and stuff, so I just kinda, oh man, this is bad. Using a clay bar or a clay pad is basically like a less aggressive sandpaper, and for us, it's allowing us to get the debris off the paint without actually damaging it, making it way easier for us to wrap the car. You can just wipe, and it doesn't feel completely messed up now. You can see there's no more noise. There's nothing there that would make it look terrible while wrapping. It's never gonna be perfect, to be honest, but it's kind of crazy what a little elbow grease and a clay bar can do. We have a wrappable surface, which is a huge step in the right direction with this bumper. And now basically the rest of the car is ready to get wrapped. Well, Jackson's finished cutting all the edges in the hood, which now looks 50 trillion times better than it was.
Sorry, I was laughing. Somebody asked me, what's SEMA? I said SEMA balls.
That's a great one.
How's this look though, good?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Hey, you.
Oh man, dude, that's so much better than it was.
This is a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm glad we rewrapped it.
That's a sharp line you've done there, my friend.
did.
Very nice. Wow, dude. This color is so sick.
This is such a good
Shout
now
out
that
Vivid.
now that we're learning a bit more, the Vivid vinyl is like, I think we're lucky to be working with this particular material.
Yeah, I think anything else we might not have been able to do so easily. So shout out Vivid for that. Yeah. Want to come check out the rear bumper, Jackson?
Oh, yo, it looks better.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
it feels so smooth. Dude, that's crazy that the clay can get that out.
It feels pretty
that's
smooth.
That's good enough to wrap.
Yeah.
Sure. That's nicely done. That's pretty good.
All right, well, we are making some good progress over here, but yeah, we got a lot more wrapping to do, so let's get to it.
We ran out of time yesterday working on another cool project. Don't worry, more on that soon. But now we have Brad back and we can finish the rest of the car. We're starting by trimming the fender, which we think looks super cool with the vent in black, so we're going to leave it that way. And now we're going to start working on the other fender. The more and more we wrap, the easier it feels, and this fender is going down really without any hiccups. Getting the exact right amount of heat into the vinyl to stretch it but not damage it is difficult, but but once you're able to find the sweet spot, it becomes super compliant and really does whatever you want it to.
So, me and Brad finished the front fender. Well, we didn't finish it. Jackson is over here doing the cutting. But
Slowly getting it, slowly but surely.
Yeah,
This is
he's
a very detailed process.
yeah, same process the other side for cutting. But we only really have today left to finish the wrap. So, me and Brad are working on the back over here, and we're seeing how much stuff we can get done in the next few hours, because that's all we have left. So we're gonna start prepping this bumper. As you guys saw me do yesterday, I already clayed it. And now I'm just gonna wipe it down with some alcohol, and we should be good to start wrapping it. We got the biggest piece for the whole car because of how long the bumper is and the way it curves. And we're gonna try to get it on here.
I'd maybe go on a knee.
I will go on a knee.
I think it might
All right,
be.
pull. Oh my days! I'm gonna tack it down far back here.
This is so scary. I'm gonna hold it up so it doesn't
Coming out
fall
of
down.
another area to help.
Dude, low-key, we glassed it actually pretty well.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold this up so we can blast it with heat.
Look at these
Do you mind
experts.
grabbing the portable heat gun, maybe? We're gonna glass this side, and then we're gonna lift that side back up.
Oh, doctor. Wow.
That was nice, dude.
And then you just gotta smooth down as much as you can and keep working it.
It doesn't come out.
With the film laid down, all we have to do is get it tucked into the smaller, intricate details of the bumper and cut out the reflectors.
The rear bumper has really come together with the help of pretty much all three of us, but Brad has been incredibly helpful here. So that is nearly done. We have to do a couple little things on that. But before we do that, since we only have Brad for a short period of time, we are going to tackle one of the scariest pieces yet. Actually, probably the scariest piece,
Yeah.
the front bumper.
I'm a little bit nervous about this one.
The front bumper is the last part of the car we have to wrap, but also probably the hardest. We're doing the same thing we did with the rear bumper. Get the film roughly installed across the entire thing, and then start working on the intricate details. It turns out that it's actually a bit easier than the rear bumper, and now we can install the grille and the car is basically done.
So, the car is now complete. And before I show it to you, this has been one heck of a process. A process I think me and Will, we probably bit off more than we could chew in this scenario, but I'm really proud of us. It's not perfect by any means. Big shout out to Brad for helping us, but we learned a lot. We learned a lot. This is a hard process, and that's the whole point of this channel, is just like learning how to do these things. We never claim to be experts. And
We're definitely not.
you gotta start somewhere, and you gotta try. But here is the finished product.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little edit. Jackson, what do you think of the car?
I love it, and it's trying to hurt me now. But I do really love it. This color is insane. I hope you guys like it as much as we do. We'll see you in the next one. Subscribe.